Welcome back. Moving forward, in this lesson I'm going to talk about the important concept of JIT, which is just-in-time inventory. So, can you imagine a world in which you receive everything that you need exactly when you actually need it? Not early, not late, but only when you actually need it. And that's exactly what JIT implies. Although JIT strategy is really typically associated with Japanese manufacturing, but like I talked earlier, if you read, notice it was Henry Ford who actually introduced this concept. He did not believe in warehouses, so he bought all materials only enough to, meet the immediate needs. And that's really what the critical factors of success for Ford was. So he had a network of railroads and trucks and so on just to deliver JIT products. So the best practice within the, moving on to 1980s, that's where companies started to use this JIT methodology and excelled in manufacturing, like Dell, for example, Microsoft, and other HP and other companies as well. So the raw materials and sub-assemblies are delivered to the factories just when you actually need them. This allows inventory to be maintained at really minimum levels. So this reduces costs and provides more flexibility to the organizations. So if the item becomes obsolete, just take off of the minimum inventory items and then order them from the manufacturer or the source. So JIT is applied typically in almost all realms. So based on the forecasted demand of the product, you would then implement the JIT strategy. So the customer demands really drives the output in your processes and operations. And this is an important concept to recognize because most industries in the United States, including automobiles, they would run on business accounting principles, okay? Maximizing the output, using expensive machines, using inputs, and incurring more capital costs. So companies ran at maximum production and then hoping that they would sell all the products. The automobile, for example, they introduced new models every year and they had surplus inventory. They didn't know what to do with it. JIT in fact changed all of that. So now you're only requiring those materials to be provided to you as the automobile manufacturer or company that you actually used. So this is controlled by the Kanban system, which is Kanban. So this system uses a basic communication device simply to notify each workstation where inventory is needed, right? So, the current signals the workstation as to if you're out of something, they would provide it just in time. So that's the core concept. Total inventory is actually reduced and then throughput is increased. So you'd help reduce cost in a more efficient manner. So several key considerations to keep in mind during JIT. A JIT strategy is highly dependent on an effective delivery system, as Ford recognized earlier. The further away your suppliers are, the more difficult, of course, for them to deliver. So one of the reasons why Kanban is more successful because in a relatively small country, they're sourced locally. And one of the reasons why the United States struggled because it's a huge country. And for someone to ship from New York to California, it's going to take time. So that's why JIT is an important and efficient concept. A JIT strategy is dependent on standardized work processes and methods that are consistently performed. Variability is the opposite, the enemy of JIT. And this is exactly where Lean and Six Sigma work together to drive out both variability and non-value-added activities or waste. So there are lots of interconnection using these tools, right? For example, standardized processes support just-in-time practices. As a Lean project manager, you should have a strong understanding of these tools so that you can improve your processes and gain operational efficiency. So a JIT is an important concept, and you implementing Lean Six Sigma methodologies within these processes would further enhance the organization to achieve the utmost levels of operational efficiency. And of course, a happy customer at the end of the day. So I hope this helps. Practice with some of these concepts, understand them. If you have any questions, post them in the discussion area and I'll be happy to answer. With this, let's move to our next lesson.